Before this revelation continues, stop everything and listen with the ears of your soul. This video did not come to you by chance. If it appeared now, it is because the heavens conspired for your soul to hear this message. Subscribe now to the Chosen Signal channel and share it with anyone you know who needs to wake up. Someone close to you is about to understand your pain in a spiritual way, and this message could be the gateway. Click subscribe, activate the bell. The time of silence is over. The voice of God is about to echo within you. You are not here by chance. This video found you because there is a divine decree being released in the heavens. And before you even realize it, something has already started to change within you. It is not just emotion, it is activation. It is not just curiosity, it is destiny. For a long time, you have been going through situations that no one understood. People abandoned you for no reason, doors closed without logic, and the spiritual silence seemed deafening. You prayed, and the heavens seemed silent. You cried, and there was no answer. You questioned, and the world told you to ignore it. But there was a truth hidden behind all of this. You were being tested, and you didn't know it. A silent, secret, sacred test. A test that only the chosen ones face. A trial invisible to human eyes, but recorded in detail in the books of heaven. This test did not come with a warning. It did not present itself as a visible war. It came as exhaustion without cause, as mental confusion on normal days, as the feeling that something was wrong even when everything seemed right. It was a silent test, built not on explosive tragedies, but on the daily routine that corroded you from within. You were tested by the indifference of others. You were tested by the lack of validation. You were squeezed inside by the questions that no one answered, by the nights when crying was the only company. And yet, you remained. You did not give up. You did not explode. You did not corrupt yourself. Even without understanding, you continued. And that is why today the heavens declare you passed the ultimate test, and you did not even know you were being tested. The heavens watched, the spiritual world recorded, and now the angels position themselves to deliver what was promised. Maybe you feel like you weren't strong. Maybe you feel like you failed. Maybe you've silently felt weak, lost, even forgotten. But the heavens don't look like men. Where you saw falling, God saw resistance. Where you felt weakness, the Spirit saw surrender. Where you thought you were being defeated, you were being molded. Every tear was a code. Every silence was a consecration. Every thought of giving up was a cry from your soul, trying to remind you that you are stronger than you seem. And now that the test is over, and it is over, the heavens are opening the records to release what was reserved for after the test. A season of spiritual harvest, where all that seemed to be sown in the void begins to blossom. You're about to see with your own eyes what your knees have built in secret. This moment is sacred. You can feel it. Your chest vibrates, your spirit responds. Because this word is not just for your mind, it is for your spiritual source. Heaven is now activating the release of that which has been held back. Why? Because now you are ready. Because now you understand. You are no longer the same. You walked through the valley without screaming. You survived the desert without applause. You passed through the dark night without dishonoring your light. You were approved without knowing it. And that is the highest form of approval. Hell tried to make you give up at the last minute because it knew the portal of reward was about to open, but you stayed. And so now you will be taken to a new level of revelation, provision, and spiritual authority. Don't run away from your anointing anymore. Receive it. For so long, you have been asking for answers, and instead you have received silence. You thought that heaven had forgotten you, that perhaps you had done something wrong, that perhaps you were being punished for past sins. But listen now with the ears of your spirit. God's silence is not rejection, it is trust. He does not speak when you are ready. He observes, he tests, he examines the bones of your soul. And what he saw was faithfulness. You kept going even without explanations. You kept going even without signs. You kept going, even while bleeding inside. And that is what separates a chosen one from a sympathizer. God was silent to strengthen you, because those who only hear the voice give up when it disappears, but those who feel the presence remain even in the desert. And you stayed, you stayed. There is a name that has not yet been pronounced upon you, a spiritual name, a new seal, an identity that the world does not yet know, but that the heavens have already recognized. And this name will be released after this test. As Jacob became Israel, as Abram became Abraham, as Saul became Paul, because the chosen ones, after the test, receive a new name, a new mission, a new level of authority. You are crossing this portal now. Your old name, the one that carries the pain, the labels, the failures, the abandonments, is being exchanged for a heavenly identity, and the world will begin to notice something has changed in you. It will not be just appearance, it will be presence. It will not be just words, it will be authority. You will no longer ask for space. Your light will be impossible to ignore. Within you are spiritual codes that have been dormant, lineages, ancestral wisdom, gifts that you have not learned, but that are part of your essence. These codes were waiting for the right moment to be activated, and that moment has arrived. Dreams will begin to be more vivid. People will begin to sense your presence before you even speak. Words will come out of your mouth with a weight that you yourself cannot explain. You will be drawn to places, books, music, and encounters that will seem like coincidences, but are responses programmed by a greater purpose. Your spirit will be pulled upward, and your words, actions, and thoughts will align with this new frequency. You have officially entered the time of spiritual activation, and nothing of what you were will be able to remain. Everything will be transformed. The time to reap tears is over. Now the heavens prepare the time for the visible harvest. Those who laughed, mocked, and despised, they will see. Those who turned their backs when you needed them most, they will witness. Those who judged you without knowing your journey, they will be silenced by the glory that will be revealed in your life. But not for your revenge, so that the name of God may be glorified through you, so that they may see that those who walk with God even in silence are never alone. You have been approved and the heavens are just. Now, retribution will come in every area, healing that doctors cannot explain, doors that no one expected to open, connections that seem like miracles, finances restored, identity restored, and honor where there was once shame. Divine justice is coming, and you are the one who carries the receipt of faithfulness. Prepare yourself, chosen soul, because before being crowned, every chosen one goes through his greatest battle. Hell does not fight against those who are lost. It rises against those who are about to take over territory. If you have been feeling the increase in pressure, opposition, doubt, and inexplicable fatigue, it is because you have already crossed the safety line of the system that tried to imprison you. You are a real threat now. You carry keys that can free others. You carry codes that can light spiritual fires where there were only ashes. And that is why the war has increased. But fear not. When the most intense battle arrives, it is because the coronation is so close that even the darkness can feel it. Heaven has already decreed you will win. You will be born again within the same body, and your victory will be so resounding that its echoes will cross generations. In this new time, you will not be able to walk with just anyone. Alliances that once seemed normal will now become unbearable. Some people will walk away without explanation. Others you will feel in your spirit that you can no longer carry with you. Do not lament. Do not try to reconnect with what heaven has already severed, When God raises, he also separates. He removes everything that could contaminate what you are about to receive. There will be new connections, spiritual, divine alliances, forged in purpose and not in convenience. You will find others like you, wounded, forged, and chosen, and together you will form an invisible network that will sustain great movements of the Spirit on earth. Trust. The right people are being drawn into your orbit, just as you are being drawn into theirs. It is part of the great plan. God never signs an ordinary story. He only puts his signature on narratives that carry the impossible. Your life, so full of twists and turns, improbabilities, secret miracles, and silent victories, is the kind of story he loves to use to show the world who he is. Do not lament the chapters of pain. They are what will give credibility to your testimony. Without the cross, there is no resurrection. Without the desert, there is no promised land. Without the test, there is no promotion. Every tear that fell to the ground became ink to write the pages that will now be read aloud. The signature is already upon you, and the world that ignored you will be forced to read it. Not because you will seek recognition, but because the glory you will carry will be impossible to hide. There is a reason God has allowed your survival, your scars, your unusual story. Your voice will not be just an echo, but a clarion call. By telling your story, even to a few, even in whispers, you will awaken others. Your testimony will break invisible chains. Your very existence will be a reminder to others that God is still at work among men. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real, because your authenticity will carry a sound that resonates directly in the wounds of those who need to awaken. You will become a living seed planted in dry lands, and wherever you step, something new will blossom. The awakened chosen one also becomes a life awakener. You are not an end in yourself. You are the beginning of many. You may have felt late, but understand, the heavens do not operate on human clocks. God's timing does not delay. It matures. While you thought you were being forgotten, you were being adjusted. While you thought nothing was happening, everything was being carefully synchronized in the unseen. Now, the time has come. You will notice increasingly intense signs, unexpected connections, doors that open effortlessly, heightened perceptions, premonitions that come true. These are the prophetic markers of the time of awakening. Heaven has already marked your now, and the earth will begin to respond to your sound. Reality will bend to the command of your faith. The wait is over. The activation has begun. You have hidden it for protection. You have silenced it for fear. You have adapted it for survival. But the gift that lives within you is tired of being stifled. It wants to breathe. It wants to expand. It wants to serve the purpose for which it was given. In the days ahead, you will be faced with opportunities that will require courage. But in embracing them, you will see your true strength. What you call your talent is actually a prophetic tool. It's not about shining, it's about illuminating. It's not about fame, it's about function. You carry something that the world needs, and if you keep hiding it, you will be like a lamp buried in the ground. It's time to turn it on, to embrace it, to let your gift do what it was created to do. Reveal the glory of the eternal through an unlikely vessel. There is a point of no return on the path of the chosen. A moment when the Spirit says yes with such force that not even fear can silence it. This yes is not said out loud. It vibrates in every cell. It changes the atmosphere. It attracts open heavens. It repels what is contrary. This yes scares hell. It shifts destinies. And it is about to come out of your mouth. You will feel, soon, the need to say this total yes. No to religion, no to performance. but to the real, naked, pure calling, to the yes that involves loss, discomfort, transformation, but also honor, fire, power, and destiny. And when you say it, even in tears, the heavens will respond with silent thunder and marching angels. No one saw, no one noticed, but God consecrated you in the dark. You were set apart when no one was paying attention. You were sealed in silence. While everyone was looking at others, God chose you in anonymity. The anointing you carry has no spotlight, but it has eternal weight. That is why you always felt out of place in the common places. That is why parties seemed empty, that idle chatter seemed deafening, because you were set apart, anointed without warning, raised in secret. And now, God is about to expose what he has sealed, not for his glory, but for the good of many. When the time of secrecy is over, the public altar is prepared, and the altar is ready. You don't need to speak. Your presence speaks for itself. Wherever you enter, something changes. Environments become silent. People rearrange themselves. This has always frightened you. You thought it was rejection, antipathy, discomfort. But it was discernment. Your light bothers those who are accustomed to darkness. Your energy vibrates differently, and not everyone knows what to do with it. That's why you walked alone. That's why you were excluded, silenced, ridiculed. But now, the spiritual world bends to your frequency. The atmosphere will open before you. What seemed closed will become light. What was resistance will dissolve, because heaven doesn't just accompany you, it precedes you. You will be a watershed in places where spiritual death reigned. The chosen one doesn't just enter, he redefines. For years you have avoided looking deeply into yourself. You did not want to see the greatness. You did not want to face the burden. But the spiritual mirror is now before you. And it does not reflect your appearance, it reflects your essence. You will see who you really are. You will see everything you have always tried to deny. And it will not be out of vanity, it will be out of mission. You are greater than you think, more dangerous to the system than you imagine, and more anointed than you are ready to accept. The time has come to recognize yourself, to stop diminishing yourself, to fit into small spaces, to stop sabotaging yourself to please those who live in the shadows. Once you embrace your true identity, there will be no turning back, because the reflection that is coming is one of glory, and glory cannot be hidden for long. There is a divine code dormant within you. It was sealed before the foundation of the world, protected in your spirit until the time was complete. And that time is now. You will begin to feel strange sensations, memories that are not yours, pains that have no physical origin, knowledge that you have not learned from anyone. This is activation. This is the heavenly DNA being decoded. Every cell in you will begin to resonate with the sound of heaven. You will understand mysteries with ease. You will see the world with trans-dimensional eyes. You will hear whispers of spirit even in the midst of chaos. Heaven is attuning you to the original version of yourself, the one who was created to fight, lead, and liberate. Don't fight it. Surrender to the process, because once the activation begins, not even you will be able to recognize yourself. Have you ever wondered why you faced so many attacks without even having done anything? Why do people hate you without knowing you? Why have doors closed for no logical reason? Because you carry a mark, a spiritual mark that hell recognizes from afar. You have been sealed, and this seal makes you seen in the invisible world as a threat. The chosen ones bother even when they are silent, but what was once persecution will now be authority. What was once war will now be victory. What was once resistance will now be rupture. Because the time has come when your mark will stop being a burden and become a shield. And every demon that tried to stop you will be forced to watch your rise. You were not marked to be hurt. You were marked to be feared. You didn't come into this world just to exist. You came to liberate. to liberate atmospheres, to liberate minds, to liberate destinies. Your presence is a frequency of disruption. Places you tread begin to shake spiritually. What has been stuck for years becomes unlocked. What has been oppressed finds relief. People can't explain it, but something in them begins to change just by being around you. This isn't influence, it's anointing, and anointing breaks yokes, undoes chains, destroys strongholds. Get ready. You will be called to dense environments, places where no one else wants to go, because you carry what those places need. You are heaven's antidote to regions intoxicated by chaos, and when you go, remember, it's not you, it's the one who lives within you. You thought you were being punished. You thought you had been forgotten, but your pain was training. Every tear was a seed in the soil of eternity. Every abandonment, a school of maturity. Every fall, a forge of your spiritual strength. You were not broken, you were molded. And now when you look back, you will see that everything was perfectly fitted together. The places where you cried were the same places where your revelations were born. The moments when you thought of giving up were the ones that strengthened your roots the most. You were trained in secret to manifest in public. You were polished in the cave to shine on the throne. And now the time has come. You will be used with power because you endured the process with faith. You lost people. You lost spaces. You lost opportunities. But what seemed like loss was deliverance. Heaven closed some doors because you didn't know where you were going yet. You would have settled for places that diminished you. You would have accepted crumbs of attention when you were born to command spiritual banquets. Every separation that hurt was, in fact, a divine shield. Heaven hides its own when it knows that the environment is not worthy of your presence. Now you understand. What left your life was not rejection, it was spiritual screening. Heaven does not want you to carry unnecessary weight on the journey you are about to begin. The route has been cleared, the destiny is activated, and your name echoes in the heavenly halls. This is the moment heaven has been waiting for. The portal is open. Earth and spirit are aligned. You have endured the trials, endured the tests, endured the silence, and now the decree has been released. A new time has begun. It will not be as it was before. The doors you have forced open will open on their own. What once seemed unattainable will come to you. The answers you have sought will come in dreams, visions, and supernatural connections. Your mind will be renewed. Your body will be revitalized. Your soul will be flooded with a peace the world cannot offer. You will not only be blessed, you will be a channel of blessing, a living sign of God's glory moving among humans. Your life will be a visible miracle, and those who saw you broken will now see you holding the key to rebuilding. You are not here by chance. This video was not a coincidence. This message is not just beautiful, it is prophetic. Heaven is calling the chosen ones to the final alignment. The time for dormancy is over. The time for fear has passed. Now is the time to respond. If you feel your heart burning, this is your confirmation. Write in the comments, "I am a chosen one." Share this message with those who also need to awaken. Activate the bell, subscribe, and declare publicly, "I am ready for my mission." Heaven has already written your story. Now is your time to live it with courage, power, and truth. The spiritual world awaits your decision. You were marked before the womb. You were separated before the foundation. And now you are ready. So be it.